Bill Schutt, Cannibalism, A Perfectly Natural History. Are you fascinated by the taboo of cannibalism and its hidden connection to animals, including humans? In Cannibalism, A Perfectly Natural History, author Bill Schutt delves into this intriguing and controversial topic, exploring its presence throughout history, its scientific relevance, and the circumstances in which it arises. Get ready to uncover the surprising realities of cannibalism across species, from fish and insects to chimpanzees and humans. Traverse through the realms of ecological factors, evolutionary advantages, and myths that surround this misunderstood phenomenon, as you challenge your preconceived notions about this seemingly unnatural behavior.
Unraveling cannibalism's mysteries. Cannibalism, often considered a sinister and taboo topic, has a fascinating role in human history and the natural world, warranting further exploration. By definition, it refers to the act of a creature consuming all or part of another being of the same species, encompassing behaviors like scavenging and certain reproductive processes. Contrary to previous beliefs that labeled it as a rare and abnormal occurrence, ecologist Laurel Fox's groundbreaking research in the 1970s revealed cannibalism as a normal response to a variety of environmental factors. Through her research, Fox discovered that cannibalism is much more prevalent than previously believed, occurring across various animal groups, even those considered as herbivores, such as butterflies. Factors such as population density and shifts in environmental conditions play a significant role in driving cannibalistic behaviors. In nutritionally scarce environments where overcrowding and a lack of nutritious alternatives persist, cannibalism thrives. On the other hand, in regions with adequate and predictable food supply, it's highly unlikely to occur. The following section will delve into the specific conditions that give rise to this intriguing survival tactic. Cannibalism's evolutionary purpose. The risk of cannibalism increases with hunger and limited access to alternative nutrients, but it also serves an evolutionary purpose. Ecologist Gary Polis observed that younger animals are more likely to be consumed due to their easy availability and nutritional value. Infanticide remains the most common form of cannibalism, with fish frequently consuming their own eggs and offspring. Cannibalism also expedites the developmental process in some species, like flower beetles, which gain a reproductive advantage by producing more eggs as cannibals. Additionally, creatures like sand tiger sharks practice cannibalism in utero, benefiting from both the nutrition and vital survival experience they gain by eliminating sibling competition before birth. Stress triggers cannibalism. Stressful environmental conditions can trigger cannibalistic behavior among various species, including chickens and hamsters. While only 75 out of 5,700 mammal species are known to exhibit cannibalism, it is likely due to mammals' low offspring production and high parental care. Although not a common behavior among chimpanzees, researchers predict that cannibalism may increase as a result of human encroachment and resource scarcity. Cannibalism in nature poses risks, such as the spread of species-specific diseases, exemplified by the near extinction of the 4 people in New Guinea due to kuru transmission from consuming their dead. Stressful environments and a lack of resources can push many animals to resort to cannibalism for survival. Take chickens, for instance, housed by the thousands in congested poultry farms. The overwhelming confinement and stress push these birds to misdirect their natural behaviors towards attacking and consuming their fellow chickens. Hamsters, a favorite childhood pet, also experience captivity-related stress. Small cages, excessive noise, damp surroundings, or living near natural predators, like dogs and cats, heighten potential tension. These pressures frequently lead hamsters to engage in cannibalism of their own offspring. Although a small portion of mammals, just 75 out of 5,700 species, are known to practice cannibalism, this number is likely low. Mammals typically produce fewer offspring and are characterized by a higher level of parental care than other animals. Human encroachment into wildlife habitats may lead to increasing cases of cannibalism among our closest evolutionary relatives, chimpanzees. While not an everyday occurrence, researchers suggest that rising population density and intense competition for scarce resources could potentially heighten chimpanzee cannibalism. However, cannibalism comes with its own set of problems. Consuming members of their own species increases the risk of animals falling victim to dangerous diseases. Parasites and pathogens are often species-specific, evolving to bypass their target's immune defenses. The 4 people of New Guinea almost went extinct due to kuru, a highly contagious neurological disease contracted from eating the brains and tissues of their infected deceased kin. Cannibalism, rare and modern practices. Cannibalism, while generally considered grotesque and repulsive, has shown itself differently in various cases and cultures. Instances such as Armin Meiwes and Issei Sagawa, who infamously consumed human flesh, paint cannibalism in a particularly shocking light. On the other hand, a more modern, somewhat socially accepted form of cannibalism has emerged in recent times, the consumption of the placenta by new mothers. Despite claimed health benefits, scientific evidence supporting the practice is scarce. Cannibalism has long been a taboo subject in modern society, but it has appeared in various forms across the globe and throughout history. Reflect on the chilling tale of Armin Meiwes, who in 2001, killed and devoured Bernd Brandes, a computer technician who had expressed a desire to be eaten. This self-destructive fantasy came to fruition when the two met in person and engaged in the brutal act of consuming human flesh. Meiwes recounted that the taste of human meat was comparable to pork, albeit slightly bitter. Another notorious case is that of Issei Sagawa, who, in 1981, murdered and consumed a Dutch student. Despite committing this heinous act, Sagawa was not prosecuted, reportedly due to his family's powerful connections. For him, the taste of human flesh was akin to raw tuna. Contrastingly, a less shocking but still taboo form of cannibalism has emerged amongst new mothers, mainly white and middle class, who choose to consume their own placenta. The practice has gained popularity in recent years based on the belief that it may have therapeutic benefits, such as restoring lost nutrients following pregnancy and childbirth. While many new mothers opt for consuming it raw or in smoothies, some companies even offer placenta-based nutritional supplements. Nevertheless, scientific research supporting these claims is virtually non-existent. When it comes to the taste of human placenta, the author shares that it is reminiscent of dark or organ meat but has a unique flavor profile all its own. While the taste may be strong, it does not overpower the senses, leading some to cautiously entertain the idea of placenta as a potentially edible experience. Unraveling the cannibalism taboo. The concept of cannibalism has long been considered taboo, and its roots are deeply ingrained in our culture and history. Ray Tannehill's 1975 work, Flesh and Blood, proposed that the Judeo-Christian belief in a complete body for resurrection shaped this taboo. However, cultural distinctions between insiders and outsiders, often based on diet, also play a significant role. The British demeaningly nicknamed the French frogs for their diet, while Western colonialists branded locals in invaded lands as savages or primitives, frequently accusing them of cannibalism. This shaped public opinion, distracting from the genocidal actions of these invaders, and painting them as heroes saving civilization from cannibals. Furthermore, fairy tales like Charles Perrault's Little Red Riding Hood and Snow White, and the German Grimm brothers Hansel and Gretel, solidified cannibalistic behaviors as symbols of terror and evil, thus instilling the fear of cannibalism in society from a young age. Cannibalism, taboo or survival? Western culture has deemed cannibalism as a major taboo throughout history, with early psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud suggesting such prohibitions prevent humans from reverting to primitive violence. While some historical non-Western cultures did partake in cannibalistic practices, the influence of Western culture on modern societies has made it practically non-existent. However, increasing environmental stressors such as desertification, drought, and political conflicts could potentially lead to famine and war, conditions under which cannibalism has appeared in the past. Consequently, the desperate situations in impoverished nations might make it impossible to completely prevent the resurgence of cannibalism as a survival mechanism. Sigmund Freud, the father of modern psychoanalysis, believed that cannibalism was acknowledged as a taboo in Western culture to suppress human regression into their primal instincts. Despite this, historical records show that some non-Western societies participated in cannibalistic behaviors. For instance, Tao Tsangyi, a writer from China's Yuan dynasty, described the taste hierarchy of human flesh. As the world evolved, the pervading influence of Western culture mediated global cannibalistic practices. Ritualized forms of cannibalism are unlikely to surface in today's societies, but circumstances could shift drastically. Intensifying environmental factors, such as the extreme desertification affecting regions like Texas, California, China, Syria, and Central Africa, pose serious threats. These changes have led to widespread famine, freshwater shortages, and political strife, all of which constitute enormous stressors on humanity. Throughout history, cannibalism has resurfaced during times of severe crisis, specifically during famine and war. Sociologist Pitirim Sorokin noted that famine-induced cannibalism took place in various locations around the globe, including Europe, ancient Greece, Egypt, Rome, Persia, China, India, and Japan. As environmental pressures increasingly threaten the world's most impoverished nations, the possibility of cannibalism re-emerging as a survival tactic cannot be completely ruled out.
As we wrap up our exploration of cannibalism, a perfectly natural history, we've discovered that cannibalism is more than just an aberration. It's a response to varying environmental factors and holds evolutionary advantages for certain species. The practice is prevalent in many animals, even in some that are considered herbivores. Cannibalism in humans is largely considered a taboo, but throughout history and across cultures, its occurrence has been linked to survival and rituals. As our world faces threats like environmental stresses, famine, and climate change, it's crucial to be aware of the possibility that cannibalism could re-emerge as a natural response to extreme circumstances. This book debunks myths and sheds light on the topic, encouraging open minds and a better understanding of the intricacies of the natural world.